Balance and stability is the ability to hold or maintain a position in space. Center of gravity is the point where all parts of an object are equally balanced. The line of gravity is a vertical line that passes through your center of gravity and reaches the ground. The base of support is a point of contact with the ground and the area between them. The center of gravity for me is at the top of my quadricep, the leg that isn't kicking the ball, that quadricep. The base of support is my 1 foot, as that's the only object that's touching the ground that's connected to me. If there were 2 feet on the ground, then it would be the area between them, but in this photo there's only 1 foot touching the ground. The line of gravity is the blue line in this photo. This shows it's not stable, as it's not touching the base of support, the bottom of the line. If it was in the middle of the base of support, it shows that it is stable. To find your center of gravity roughly is that you draw a box around your person, and then you draw 2 horizontal lines, and roughly that is where the center of gravity will be, where they meet. The line of gravity passes through the center of gravity, so you just draw a line to find it, and that has to pass through the center of gravity. The line of gravity is to help you find out if the object is stable or not. The base of support is the stability of your object, because if there's only one base of support and it's only skinny, normally your object will not be very stable. But if there's 4 base of supports, like on a chair, it's designed to be a very stable object. Force motion is to give an object momentum, just like throwing or hitting a ball, or in my case, kicking a ball. The amount of momentum given to the object is determined by the sum of all forces generated by each body part. As you can see, the more you stretch out is the more power you can generate in most cases. And as you can see, the green line is showing that I'm stretching out in this photo to generate power when I'm kicking the ball. Some of the muscles I'm using are the abdominals, my hamstrings, my quadriceps, my gastrocnemius, and my tibialis anterior. All of these muscles are helping generate the power for me kicking the ball. And also these muscles are helping me timing to hit the ball correctly, because if I don't hit the ball in the right spot, I won't generate as much power. The movement begins with my abdominals and works its way down, as abdominals is the largest muscle to be used. The second would be the quadriceps and the hamstrings, as they are used, and it gets smaller, like the gastrocnemius and the tibialis anterior would be next. This helps the timing of kicking the ball. Motion is an object released into the air, that is projectile. There are 5 factors affecting the projectile's path. Gravity is 1, air resistance, the speed of release, angle of release, and the height of release. The blue circle is the height of release, because that's the height I'm kicking the ball at. If it was any lower, I wouldn't be able to get as much height on the ball, but if it was higher, I could get more height on the ball. The angle of release is the orange arrow. It's showing the angle of release. If it's facing down, the ball will just go straight down to the ground. But if it's facing up, it'll go straight up into the air. But if you want the ball to travel the most distance, then you would try to hit at 45 degrees, as it's traveling far and high at the same time to travel the most distance. If it's at 90 degrees, it'll just go up and down. If it's at 0 degrees, it'll just drop. The greater the speed of release, the greater the distance covered in flight. Just like the yellow arrow is pointing to my foot, as that's the speed. If I was only moving my leg at like 1 kilometer per hour, the ball would travel no distance. But if I was moving at 100 kilometers per hour and I made contact with the ball, it would go flying. Gravity is one of the biggest factors affecting our flight. Gravity affects an object of a constant of 10 newtons. Gravity is a weak, attractive force, but we cannot escape it, no matter what we do. So we just have to kick the ball, knowing that there's gravity and that it's going to bring the ball down eventually. Air resistance also affects the flight of the ball. Depending on the mass, speed, or surface area. If it was really light, the ball, then the air resistance would affect it massively, as it could blow against the wind and then it wouldn't travel as far. But if it was small mass, it will travel further, as it's like a bullet through the air.